Nice. Good morning. Morning, chat. Oh, first ever stream. Ah, first of a million. So good. Morning. Chat, always eat your oatmeal in the morning. It's good for you, even if it's way too much. Alright, well, the way we start every stream, clearly, because we have habits in these streams, is we're going to start off with brilliant.org. Go over to Brilliant. What is Brilliant? Brilliant gets us so our brain starts working good when we start. So we're just going to start over here at Brilliant. It's about 10 to 15 minutes-ish. And then we'll get going after that. Last week I was doing digital circuits. So this is an exclusive OR. That's false. It's only true if it's both 1 and 0. Ooh. We want it to be 0, so we need this to be 0, which means this has to be a 1. These are truth tables. Essentially, you just got to fill out the whole thing. Um, so it's saying, hey, if you have this one and this one, what are all the possibilities of what you could get? So if they're all 0, then it's always going to be 0. It needs to be 0, 1 for this to be 1. So if it's 0, 1, that's 1, and 0 makes this true. And then if it's 1, 0, then it's 1, 1, that's false. And then if it's 1, 1, it's 0, 1, it's true. Morning, everyone. What? No idea what that is. All right, I'm not doing Kurgis. No, we're not diving into the science behind my favorite Kurg. Let's go find a new course. What do we got here? What is this one? Calculus? Do you want to do something about a YouTuber or something about calculus? Very first stream. What are we doing? Starting off with calculus. That's good. Heck yeah. I'm smart. You already know how to use math to model change. I already know that. Let's start with the rate of change of water in a bottle. Chat, I did calculus in college. I was a math major. This is easy. How much water is added to the bottle every second? It's 50. So then the 10. Wait, how do I click it? Oh. I have to scroll down. 50 of it. Yeah, we saw 50 in the equation. What is the slope of the graph? Well, you take the difference, it's 50 again. The rate of change is its slope. In a linear function, the slope is the coefficient. Chat, we're learning calculus. Day 1. What is the rate of change here? It's -2, chat. You gotta take the, what's it called? Uh, you take the differential of the thing. What's it, what's the rate of change of this? It's teaching us you're taking this. It's 1/2. Zoom out a little bit. Just a wee bit. There we are. You found the rate of change of linear functions. Pretty cool. Learning calculus. Easy, easy game for babies. What is the rate of change here? Ah, no, you told me it was 50. Why? Wait, was I supposed to use the water thing? Oh, you didn't tell us about that. Oh, it let us do the cool thing. That would be hilarious if Windows updated in the middle of the first stream. What is the rate of change for this? -40. Why? 300. Wait, we can divide 200 minus 300. Chat, we don't need to get these right. It's fine. Find the rate of change. It looks about, wait, you have to add in numbers now? Oh no. It's going, this is just like a linear thing. It's going, this is 2. We're going up 10 over 2, which is 10, wait, which is 2 divided by 10, which is 1/5. One, wait, are you really gonna make me do this? There we are. Look at that. Why? Oh, wait. I did it. Over 2 up 10. Yeah, we got all 3 of them wrong. Nice work. You did it. You got them all wrong. Oh, what is a derivative? That was the word I was looking for. Derivative. It's going to teach us calculus this quickly? What? There's no way. There's no way. I mean, it's trying. Holy cannoli, is it trying? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. As the value of b approaches a, we get a tangent that grazes the curve at a point. This is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's 2. That's the slope. That's just a slope formula, chat. It's fine. Estimate the slope of the tangent. What? What do I do? I go like this? Ooh, right there. What? Yup. Yup. The slope is -2. He told me. It cheated. It told me what it was. Wait, let's zoom in. Oh, we just did that. The derivative. Oh my gosh. First, yeah, it's just the limit as b approaches positive a of f of b. Yeah, it's fine. Chat, last week we did ands and ors. Uh, what? What is the derivative of this? It's 0. What do you mean? What value of a? Where can I say it is? Check. Find a line that has a slope of -1. Ah, we, wait, wait. There it is. What is the derivative of f when x is 2? That looks like 1. I'm so smart. This is crazy. We're gonna learn all of calculus in like 5 seconds. What is this slope? It's point 0.2. Oh, of the tangent line. Whee! 1. See, it just tells you the answer. Choose a that makes f prime 1. Whee! That looks pretty good. At x equals a, 0. Nice work! What's GIMP want? GIMP just wants me to say hi. What is a derivative? We got maxima and minima. This is like a whole week in high school. What? Let's explore how derivatives help us identify function behaviors. Yeah, chat, easy. Look at this. Wee, woo. What value of f? No, m, that's an m. What value of m makes f increase from left to right into m greater than 0? Chad, make sure you're eating your breakfast. Mine is getting cold already. It's not good when it's cold. Real bad. I mean, it's not terrible, but when it gets more cold, it's gonna be pretty bad. Pretty. When f is decreasing. What? Ah, it's negative. Wait. Wait, x equals a? That's positive. We just saw that. Negative. Wait, why? We. Oh. We. The derivative. Yeah, we know that. Let's take a look at an example. Take a simple quadratic formula, chat. How's that derivative? You take the 2, you move it down, you get rid of the constant, 4 becomes 4, boom. When does this decrease? When x is greater than 2, so that this can become negative. Boom! Bada 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 boom! What's wild is this is sort of teaching you calculus. What are you doing? Making board games? Now we're doing calculus. Cool stream. The graph of f shows that it decreases when x is greater than 2 and increases when x is less than 2. Yeah, it does. What's true about f at its highest point is 0. Oh, it's a basketball. Wee. Oh, what? Woo! Woo! Now let's consider a ball with a height modeled over time. Wee! In the hoop. And it's a air ball. Air ball. What is the velocity at the highest? At the highest. It's when it's 0. Consider this, this is a quartic, which has this cubic. Does it have a maximum or a minimum? Well, you want x to be real big. And it's going to be minus here. So it's going to be, it's one of these two, Chad. I'm just going to guess. What? Oh, the 3. We were supposed to try to solve for where this is 0. Aha! It's easy. Easy game. Good job. What is the derivative of the maximum? Wee, it's 0. Yeah, why do you go to school for this when you got brilliant.org? Not a sponsor. Where could f have a minimum? Uh, at x equals 1, according to the graph. Show the region where f increases. Why? Oh, duh. Where y is. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, wait. We have to let it do a thing. Oh, yeah. Go do it. No, I already said go do it. Yeah, bro. It's happy now. It's happy. It's so happy. Way to go. Look at you. You're climbing up the leaderboards. No one else is dumb enough to do calculus. Not dumb enough, but like foolish enough. No one else is dumb enough to. We're so smart. Um, f prime 0 are example of critical points. It's critical to know when it equals 0. What's the largest value? There isn't a largest value. It's gone whew. A local magnet, is that an absolute? Yep. How many absolute? It's got 1 down here. Oh wait, yep, it's got 1. But there's 3 of them. 3 answers to that. This is wild. Again, a full week. A full week in school. Maybe a day. I don't know. You gotta do like 20 homework problems. I did it in 3 seconds. What was the absolute minimum? There isn't an absolute minimum. It's going forever. How many maxima absolutes? We got 1 up here. How many critical points does this have? It has 2. Nice work. Wait. Dude, cool M's really good. Drop testing. No, they're making that up. In testing, phones are dropped over and over. Yeah, they are. Watch this. Bam. It didn't break. Do it again. Bah! The phone's instantaneous velocity at a given time is just the derivative. That's what the look at. Wee, that's the velocity. Whoa, cool. What's the velocity? That's the tangent line. Or the slope of the tangent line. Sixth root was the slowest. Boom. It's over here. Wee. 3. What? What do you want? Estimate the velocity. Oh, at time t is wait. Is this t? Yeah, it's -3. Oh, it's doing meters per second. I didn't read the thing. Velocity has both a speed and direction, so the phone is a negative velocity because it's falling. What's the fastest the phone will fall before it hits the ground? Real fast. Wait, 5. So smart. We win! Almost. Oh, we did. Chat, we almost know calculus. All right. We did derivatives. All right, enough of that. See, now we got our brains. I mean, we're thinking now. We're thinking in derivatives. We're thinking in calculus. That's crazy. It taught so much so quickly. It just shows that you just need to learn the thing with some visuals and some interaction, and it's just like, pop, 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 pop. All right, well, why do we have a random number generator set up? All right, so now finally going to explain what are we doing today? What's day one of tabletop streaming for all the one persons watching, which I think is just me. Yeah, audience of one. Um, so this is how it works. Tabletop streaming, speedrunning. Tabletop streaming, tabletop development, speedrunning. Day one today is going to be brainstorming and drafting. So today we are going to be, as we have our splits up here in the top left, uh, we are going to be doing mechanics, themes. We're going to select our ideas, and then we are going to draft some rules. So essentially, our goal at the end of the day is to have something that we can move forward tomorrow and Wednesday and the rest of the week. So our goal is to get some semblance of the game because day two is marketing and Kickstarter. So tomorrow, no matter what we do, no matter the shape of the game that the game is in today, we are going to be launching a Kickstarter. And by launching, I mean we're going to have to propose it. It takes 1 to 3 days for Kickstarters to get approved, which means the goal being that we're actually going to launch a 1 day Kickstarter on Thursday. We'll also do all marketing, so we're going to hit every single outlet possible for marketing. It's going to be really quick. This is the essence is we're going to show the whole process of making, releasing, and playtesting a game all within 1 week. So Wednesday, we're going to clean up the rules, make all the graphics for the game. Thursday, we're going to implement it all into Tabletop Simulator so we can play it digitally. We're also going to launch the Kickstarter on Thursday. And then on Friday, we are going to play test the game, get some notes, choose people from chat to play test with me, assuming people are there. Otherwise, I'll just do it on my own. And normally people would be able to vote on different things, like voting on mechanics or voting on themes. Today, it's going to be all random. So we have a game doc ready that I'll go over the mechanics here and to get a sense on like what are all the different parts of a board game. So essentially, board games is just a system. So we just did calculus, which is silly. Board games are a system that you're playing in. There is a goal. It could be a cooperative goal. It could be a competitive goal. That goal is just, you can call it the win condition. What do you have to do in order to win? Within that, you have a bunch of mechanics. So here, I have a generated list. This is like 72 different mechanics, and it's split into all of these different types. So we have, action selection, resource management, hidden information and deduction, conflict and control, and a whole bunch of others. And then on top of that, board games have themes. Some board games are more thematic than other ones. So if you had a like RPG themed game, something like Gloomhaven, which is a very popular dungeon crawler cooperative game, that has a heavy like fantasy theme to it. Um, Whereas some other games might not be as important, the theme. It doesn't really shine through the mechanics as much. Generally, what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to blend the theme with the mechanics. And depending on like how the game goes, we'll probably focus a little bit more on the mechanics or a little bit more on the theme. There's no set rule for how you make a game. Uh, you can really dive into either one of them. So for this first game on stream, I've already done this a couple times. As an example, one of the games I put together was buyourboats.com. Uh, how did that game come about? Well, I randomly chose three mechanics. The mechanics I randomly chose were simultaneous action selection, push your luck, take that, and the themes I had were boats and software. So I came up with a few ideas. I randomly chose one of the ideas to go with, and then I just took off and just started drafting. So that's what we're going to be doing today is we are going to randomly choose three mechanics out of a gigantic list of 72. We're going to randomly choose two themes. I don't have a giant list of themes. I have like a moderate list of themes here. I think I have about 30 themes or so. And then we're just going to draft up the doc. As we do it, we're going to be drawing stuff, just really simple placeholders. And that'll be that. So we have our splits over here. And these splits just give us a sense of the speedrunning component of this, because this is supposed to be quick. So the goal isn't going to be to make anything perfect. The goal is just to make something. We're going to be going to about 1-ish. So we got like 2 hours, which is like a good amount of time to really get something on paper. And anybody can chime in as we do it. This is a communal creative activity. So let's just get started here in a moment. Get a little bit set up. All right. So I think I have 72 mechanics is what I said. I should have numbered them. This is it's a bulleted list. A bulleted list. Good morning. Uh, so yeah, we have like 72 mechanics here. We're gonna randomly choose, and we have a whole bunch of themes. I mean, we could just add some random themes to it. Thanks for the follow. We're gonna go here. We're gonna do what is some random themes we could do? I don't know. We don't have like trees. I think I have nature somewhere here. Yeah, I have nature, but if we wanted to get more specific, like a theme can be anything in a game as specific as like trees, or as like generic as like music. Like you could say, oh, a theme wants to be trumpets, or a theme wants to be composing music. So I tried to make these really generic. Like I even have games as a theme. It's a little bit meta. Um, so if we don't like the themes, we can just re-roll them. But generally, I think all of these are pretty interesting themes. Some of them are way more like wide than other ones. Uh, cool. So let's get started. We're gonna select some mechanics. So we're gonna go over to the browser. So this is just a random number generator, just to show that it works, because sometimes it rolls the same number. Just click that button, and look, so cool. All right, so we're just gonna do a 3, 2, 1. I'm just gonna select three random numbers, and we gotta find what those themes are. Um, and then we'll just start putting together a doc a little bit. Yeah, so much random. It's gonna be amazing. All right, so numero one. What's up? Good morning. All right, just arrived to see us randomly choose our mechanics here. Number one is but no, I swear I clicked. I swear I clicked. All right, wait. If I click over here, what? What? All right, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. All right, now this is the first mechanic. 10. 10's the first mechanic. The number moved. I guess it's a 1 out of 72 chance that it doesn't move. Anyway, so our first mechanic, we're just gonna go down and highlight it. So we're just gonna start at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. An auction bidding. Very good. This is gonna be our first mechanic here. I'm actually going to do this. We're going to take it and let's put it here. And then we're going to roll a new mechanic. I have to constantly be switching this stuff, which is great. Great. We're going to roll a new one. 63. Now I'll remember to move this up here. So we're going to work from the bottom because I think it's 72. So we have 72, 71, 70, 69, 68, 66, 67, 66, 65, 64. Point salad. That's not bad. It's not bad. Makes it pretty easy. Basically, you can do whatever you really want. So I'll take it. So we're going to take point salad. That's going to be our second main mechanic of the game. That gives a lot of flexibility. And then we're going to go back to the browser and we'll get our last mechanic here. Bada bing, bada boom. All right, 61. Cool. So I'll go back here, and it was right above point salad. So 72, 71, 70, 69, 68, 67, 66, 65, 64, 63, 62, 61. An income engine. That seems fun. Pretty normative for like any engine builder. Big fan of engine builders in games. So very cool. So these are going to be our three main mechanics that we're going to be working with. Auction bidding, point salad, and an income engine. So now let's go ahead and select some themes. Our themes, again, we're eventually going to have like a gigantic list of themes. Right now, pretty normative. Power grid but green, yeah. But I think what we're gonna go for here is my goal is to get two themes that like normally don't work together. I always find that interesting, and that's why they're so diverse. So let's just go ahead and roll some themes. This is gonna be pretty quick. Uh, it's gonna be pretty great. So this, I think I have somewhere like 30-ish themes. We'll just go ahead and say 35 and roll with it. So let's go ahead and generate the very first theme. Okay. What was the very first thing I thought of? A Western. All right. Why not? We'll go ahead and make Great Western Trail again, except space. So we got a Western. I'm just going to put in here. Got to move it back here. We're at the top, and we're just going to do, say, themes again. Okay, so we have a Western. That's very easy to work with. And then our next theme, bada bing, 29. 29 is our next theme. Hopefully the list goes up to 29. We'll go to the bottom. Ba-da-da-da-da. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 27, 28, and art. Art? Uh, we're gonna have art western, an art western game, clearly. Yeah, that's pretty generic. Art is like it could be anything in art. Uh, let's see. Gold panning, that's a pretty good idea. So now that we have our themes, this is where so there's a million ideas we can come up with this. So what we're gonna try to do is we have these themes, we can basically get rid of all the rest of this stuff. So the rest of this doc is just all the stuff. Um, what I tend to do when I make games, I'm not thinking ahead of like whether it's going to be like a light, medium, or heavy game. Part of drafting today is we are going to try to just put our ideas on paper. Um, and I think as you start coming up with rules and as you start coming up with like the system, you'll start leaning into whether this is a heavier or a lighter game. Of course, we're going to be doing this whole thing really quickly, so a heavier game is going to be a lot harder to create like a prototype of. But if it leans toward the heavier side, c'est la vie, we'll just go for it. So let's go ahead and clear all this stuff out. And now we're gonna just come up with a few ideas. So my goal is to come up with 3 distinct ideas, and then we can either just vote on them, just choose one randomly. I think today is just going to be a random day. We're just going to come up with a few ideas um, and randomly choose one. So right here, again, we have our bidding. We have a point salad. Point salad is not really something that I need to think of in terms of like integrating it. It's really just like, hey, this is worth 3 points. You did the thing. Um, I think really for me, it's like how can you combine having an auction bidding with an income engine and the themes of saying a Western and art. So the most common things in like a Western, like panning for gold is like a classic thing. You got cowboys. Um, you have like migrating out west. How could art be mixed into that? You could have something where you're trying to like people went west for a whole bunch of reasons. Some of it was to get gold. Maybe, I mean, it's gonna be kind of obvious-ish depending on the game that gold will be the currency. What if you're trying to sell art pieces? You're trying to sell art pieces? You could, we could really go the opposite angle of it being something like Pictionary, where you have to draw Western things. Yeah, like horse art. That'd be really funny if everything was just Western themed. Um, and there was actually some like more board gamey aspects of it rather than just Pictionary, like what did you draw? I really like that idea of having something where you're actually having to draw something. So, how about a game where players. Oh, Western movies. Yeah, movies is a good idea too. Uh, for this first one, I want it to be like a Pictionary like. So like players are um, competing against each other by creating various Western art pieces. Um, what if you're drawing and then you have to auction and bid on them and people are like, "Oh, I want that one." Everyone else is drawing stink, but that person always is drawing the best. So what would be funny is like people uh, after evaluating the pieces of art, I say people, whatever, players, the art pieces are auctioned to players. And then maybe uh, there are certain attributes you can add to your art. So like you draw your picture, but maybe like you have the ability to like choose like three or four different like points. Like, oh, my art is gonna have two glamour or like two, I don't know, some sort of attribute that like, oh, even if it looks really bad, I know that's gonna give me like two gold generation a turn or something like that. Um, so maybe there are certain ways that players can add value to their art, and then as they add art to their collection, it gains value or power over time. So this is going to be some sort of like Pictionary income engine sort of game. Um, oh, that's neat too. Yeah. Income from bidding on the winner of the duel. There could be a duel aspect. So I like that idea of like, so yeah, you think of Western movies and you think of like duels, showdowns. We have stuff like gold. So I mean, we could just do like a two-player game if it was the idea of duels. There could also be something like you noted that even in this idea, if you have if you're both bidding against each other, there could be a duel mechanic. Like maybe you could say, hey, double meaning to draw. Yeah, that's good. So, you know, it's like a trump card or something. It's like, you know what? I really want that piece of art. I challenge you. You actually have to take the card and slap them across the face. Um, all right, that's the first one. I think something about movies is really cool because movies are art in themselves. So having some sort of like a movie game. Um, Trying to think how like if it could be, are you making movies? Are you going to see a movie? Um, I think like sometimes games have this idea of doing something banal but making it interesting. So you have farming games. You have you know any sort of thing where it's like washing dishes or like taking care of your dog, but it's like a really cool game. Um, what if you were in a movie theater and you're just like the guy behind the cash register? You bid for, yeah, that would make it much more glamorous. Bidding for producers and talent. Um, yeah, I think that's a cool idea too. Something about like you're competing movie theaters and all these westerns are coming out. Um, and the idea is that you're trying to basically build up your competing movie theaters. So maybe it's a tableau type of game. So this is like a tableau game where you are competing movie theaters, which is relevant today because a lot of movie theaters have bit the dust. Um, and this summer, all the great Western are coming out. Everybody is going to the theater. So you're competing with other players to get the best theater. That's a great way to say it. To get the best theater. To get the best theater. Um, I did realize I'm spelling it the British way. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Um, so there could be things, yeah, like trying to get the best films. You could maybe do fancy things like, oh, we got the actor of the theater to come, like of the movie to come, and he's gonna be signing autographs. We got the producer there on opening night, so like you try to get the best films, get autographs. Maybe you have to hire WAG stuff. Yeah, that's all good. Um, Anything and everything to boost your theater. Um, cool. So we got a cool Western art auction game. We have a tableau game about competing movie theaters. Um, and within these, it's very flexible. These are just the ideas. They could have cards, you could have tableaus, you could have whatever. So let's think of one more game. Um, we've been kind of like the tableau game is more about the income engine. This game is more about auction. Point salad, again, I think it could be anything. Um, I think for another idea of something, because we went into like idea of a movie western, we went into one that's more focused on the art of it. Um, or, or just, what if you're already out west? So you're out west. I like the original idea of panning for gold. Um, oh, what if we did something? Uh, so some games are cool where you actually have that tactile thing, where it's like, what if you had little gold paces? I'm thinking of like almost like a children's game where you have don't break the ice or something like that. Some sort of mechanic where you actually have like an ability to pan for gold. And I mean, it could just be a bag mechanic, like you're reaching into the bag and you're giving yourself like a greater opportunity to pull out gold instead of like garbage. Kind of like quacks or something like that. So something where it's like you and all of your competitors are panning for gold. Uh, find the best rivers. Was it rivers that you got gold in? I don't remember. Find the best rivers where all the gold is. Uh, how can we fit art into this? I don't know. Use tools and ways to um, get the probability in your advantage. Um, maybe you're like you have to do it in a really flashy way. Like you have to do it artistically. Maybe you get bonuses for how you collect the gold. Like maybe instead of it's just people doing it, you're sort of like, I don't know, fashionistas, or maybe you're like superheroes or something, where it's like, I not only collected the gold, I did it while doing a backflip off a cliff, or something like that. Um, so some way mix in flair for how you collect it artistically. And then here, this would be more of the point salad. Like maybe you can get points for like how much gold, how many tricks you etc. Um, definitely the least fleshed out idea out of either of the three. Yeah, it could work. It's just some more RNG. So here are three ideas. Um, I think they each have potential. Uh, so we've had a couple people here. So what I'm gonna say is I will give you each one vote. So what I'm gonna say is y'all get a vote. And if I don't like it, I will randomize. um, so this is one. This is two. This is three. And then I'm gonna randomly choose one. And you get all the tiebreakers. Uh, so I'm just gonna, it's a coin flip times 3. Uh, so let's go back to our, where is it? There, here. Okay, so we're just gonna do a 1 to 3. We're just gonna verify it's working. This is not the actual clicks. Okay, it's working. This is gonna basically decide our fate. Uh, I'm just gonna do a 3, 2, 1, go. Why not? 3, 2, 1. This is the game. I'm really hoping it's not 3. I really want to do 1 or 2. It's too bad. 3, 2, 1. We click the button. It's 1. It's 1. It didn't move. It's legitimate. It's legitimate. Not rigged. Okay, so we're gonna go with the first idea, and we chose this randomly. Boom. Cool. All right, so now we have about an hour and a half. I'm actually gonna go to really quickly. I'm gonna pull up another doc, which I realized I actually was not sharing last time I was describing this thing. So, oh well. It's not on screen. The whole point of this other doc is I'm just gonna copy the whole thing. So I already have all the different sections here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do a quick copy. And then over here where we are, I'm just gonna paste this in. So this is from a different game that I did. It has all the other sections. We have the end game. This one had roles and things. So essentially, we're just going to try to fill in as much as we can today. Along the way, we'll just do little icons and stuff as quickly as we can. Oh, things you create. This was all part of buyerboats.com, a competitive game. Well, no, it was a cooperative game where everyone was taking part in selling and creating a website just to buy boats because, the themes were boats and software. All right, so this is sort of generically, I guess we not won't necessarily have roles. Um, so you open up a game manual. You're like, how do we play this thing? Well, usually you don't do that. Usually you just go like on YouTube or whatever. But um, the good game manuals are pretty concise. We're gonna need something that people can just take this, play it in TTS, and boom, now you have a game. So we have our components. We have to think about what the components are going to be. How's the game set up? This is just going to over time. And the big thing we're going to be doing today is what's the game flow? Has the game actually work? What are all the elements of the game? And then the end game, and then thinking, okay, well, you know, what is the weight of the game? So that's kind of what we're going to do here. Uh, I also realized that my chats got duplicated, and that's amazing. Love that for me. Okay, so what is the game we're making? We are creating art pieces. The art pieces are going to be auctioned in some way, and then people can like add value to their art. And as they add art to your collection, it gains value or power over time. Our goal within this is to basically have prompts for these art pieces. The prompts are going to be Western themed. Maybe you're building like an art gallery or something like that. We're definitely going to be focusing on this auction aspect of it. Um, we also want something where you can generate income over time. And then some sort of point salad, some sort of like these are all the different ways that we can actually get points. Because in the game, a point salad game basically means, hey, you're keeping track of points over time. And there you go. In the end, Whoever has the most points wins the game. So we're gonna go over here and say, well, what are our components? What are the things that we sort of know we're gonna need? If this is a art game, um, what's interesting about this is I didn't intend to make it something where you're drawing. Generally, when you're drawing stuff in a game, there's like a whiteboard and like you're erasing it. But this is a sort of thing like you're drawing something and it's permanently out. Some games that do art, you're not drawing it yourself. You're sort of just uh, making a collage of existing art pieces. Um, I think it's more fun to just have people who are forced to make art and then say why it's worth the money that it is. Uh, so I don't know. It might just be like pieces of paper. Like you just need like sticky notes or something. So we're just gonna say a whole bunch of paper, and then I don't know, pencils. What could actually come in a box? Pencils, markers, crayons. Um, encourage people to use whatever is available. That's a component, right? Um, Setup, don't know yet. Game flow. So I think the game flow here is we have to think about what are the different rounds. So if everyone's making art together, there should be a time limit for it. So like an hourglass timer. So we need to think what are the different rounds? What are the different sections of stuff that people are doing? So for a game flow for this, it looks like there's going to be some sort of drawing round. So you might have just do rounds. Um, and you could say you have one, and this is the drawing round. So everybody, maybe there's a deck of prompts, and maybe the prompts probably are going to be more obscure. So sort of like if you play Drawful or any prompt in an art game where it says draw this thing. Um, so you're going to need a deck of prompts. So all players draw prompts. Everybody draws a prompt. Um, and then everybody, you get, I don't know, X seconds in seconds. Yes, you get X seconds, X minutes to draw the best art piece that goes along with the prompt. So that's the drawing round. I also mentioned that you can also add X attributes to the art piece. And these attributes, we need to define later what like attributes are. But we can just say attributes are going to be things like flare or I don't know, power, uh, symmetry. How do you spell symmetry? Symmetry, etc. And attributes give more inherent value to the art. So like maybe you could spend something to get attributes. Maybe like you have ways to like get them and add them to it. Maybe everyone just gets to add an attribute no matter what. Um, but some sort of attributes that can be added to those. Um, Now, of course, we need to have an example of what this looks like. Um, so, example, uh, example one. Let's think of a really quick prompt for a Western. So we're going to say uh, example prompt one. A cowboy rides on his horse into, I'll just say their horse into the sunset. So now we get to show our art skills. Um, we're gonna go to GIMP. Here's GIMP. Bada bing. So say I had, I don't know what it's at, 30. Um, I'll give myself 1 minute to draw a prompt of a cowboy. Now, granted, I'm in GIMP right here. Cowboy riding off into the sunset. So, uh, 3, 2, 1, let's do it. So you have a cowboy. Well, first we need a horse. He's on his horse. The horse. This is the head of the horse. He's going kalup, 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 kalup. And then the cowboy is on top. He's over here. And we all know he's a cowboy because he has the cool cowboy hat on, right? The horse is going like this. The horse is going this way. And he's going vroom, vroom. And then we have the beautiful sunset. We gotta get yellow. Look at the sun. Ooh. Oh, that's not a sun. The sun's not supposed to be at the top of the sky. It's a sunset. Uh, don't worry. With markers, there's no way to erase. That's too bad. Um, we need the horizon. Oh, we have to get back to this. Has it been a minute yet? Uh, wait. Control Shift A. Bada bing. Oh, this is the beautiful sunset horizon. We have the different colors. We got reds. Oh, it's so pretty. Whoa, it's the red of the horizon and the oranges of the horizon. Oh, it's beautiful. All right. And then this is the desert. Oh, we need a cactus because obviously there's cactus. One cactus, and he's got spinies. This is a cactus. All right, done. So we take our beautiful piece of art and we'll just copy this into Word. Boom. Skadoom. And here it is. Look at that. See? A cowboy rides their horse. That's so beautiful. Best art ever. Uh, all right. So that's the drawing round. Now we're gonna have the auction round. In the auction round, people are gonna need money to actually bid on the things. So how about we say you have gold? Because of course we have gold. So players bid using their gold on the art pieces in play. So bidding generally starts, how are we going to start with who gets to start bidding? Like who gets to bid first? It could be like secret bids. It could be that you just like take an art piece. Or like you could just say the first one up for bid is this. So I think you start with, I don't know, maybe there's just a token that says who gets to be the first bid this time. Because there could be something about like who's in first gets to bid first. We're just going to start with um, the player who didn't start last time. Use a marker, not a token, to say who bids first. And I'll just go around. All right. So you take someone's art and it goes up for bid. And this is just classic bidding using gold. And then we might have something here where it's like, you can bid for gold. Someone mentioned earlier on that like a duel. So maybe there's a way to uh, trigger a duel via bidding. And mentioned like the double meaning of draw. I think that's really fun. So you could have something too, where maybe like instead of gold pieces, like you have little cards or something like money, some way to say draw. Um, but that'd be neat. And it's a triple meaning because it could be you have to literally maybe it's like a draw off or something. Like you have to draw a picture, you have to draw a card while it could be a triple entendre. Um, so anyway, maybe say draw. So eventually everyone gets pieces of art. So then, uh, when an art piece is sold, the person who drew it gets the gold, and the art piece goes to the person who bought it, of course. It would be silly if it didn't. All right, so everyone's gonna get um, art. Um, so a big part of this is, are you able to buy multiple pieces? I want to say yes, of course you can. So I would say players can purchase, I want to say up to two right now. Maybe it depends on how many players are in the game. I'm guessing this is a game, we didn't really specify like how many players there are in the game. Um, we'll just say it's a 5-player game. I mean, party games can go up to 5, 6. I think because this is also going to have attributes of more of like a Euro game, like you're going to have an engine and like extra stuff, we probably don't want there to be too many people. Alternatively, if we want it to be a lighter game experience, you can always just decrease the amount of mechanics and just say, hey, less is going on. Uh, I would say it's going to be 3 to 5 people. Or no, let's say 3 to 6 people. Uh, cool. Beautiful horsey. So players can purchase up to, we'll just say 2 art pieces in a round. Seems good to me. 2 art's pretty good. Uh, Now, what is the round after the auction round? So you have the auction round, everyone's got their art in front of them. So the art has to do something. Like you could just say, I got the piece of art and people liked my art and they gave me gold. Um, but the goal is to get the good art. If everyone's bidding on it, there must be a reason why they're bidding on it, other than just like, they really liked the picture that someone drew. So I'm thinking that there will be some sort of um, maybe a goal or a tableau. Like maybe your goal is to get certain art pieces that have certain attributes. Or, oh, that's a good question. I think everyone's going to have a different prompt. It could be that, no, that's actually a good idea. Um, I think it's actually a fun thing to have everyone having the same prompt to say, well, what is the best version? But that's a good question. We could say up here, everybody draws a prompt, and we could say could be the same prompt or a different one. And I'll just bold that because that's a pretty critical difference. You'd have to have, of course, we're gonna have to come up with all these prompts. So uh, it might be wiser to just say everyone does the same prompt and have everyone's take on the same thing. That could be funny. Um, if we wanted a million prompts, you know, uh, different stuff could work too. So we have the auction round. So now we're gonna have person, and we're gonna say players assign the art pieces in there. We're just gonna call it a tableau for now. Um, And then because this is an engine builder game, we have to think of a way that like we just did some auction bidding. Now, what does the art get for us? And I think here is where you're going to have in front of you, and when you're buying a piece of art, it's going to have attributes. We have to define what those attributes are going to be. And from those attributes and stuff, we're going to say, oh, I have these cool piece of art that, Jeff drew, and I'm going to put it here, and it's going to maybe be like, this is my action art, or maybe this is this art. So I would say that you have the engine phase, engine round, phase round. Um, so this is all art pieces generate stuff, stuff right now, um, based off of what um, places in the tableau that they are assigned. That's good, good English. So what we need to do now is get an idea of what like a tableau would look like. So we're gonna go back to GIMP. We'll do just a new one. And here we have to think of like, what is your tableau? So you're gonna have these, I don't know how big they are. Maybe they'll be like little note card size things, like flashcards. Probably makes the most sense. Uh, and your tableau is gonna be like a rectangle. So what we're gonna do, we're going to create a little card. Do a black background. Have a little border around it. Bada bing. And let me just delete it. It's totally exactly symmetrical. Um, so if you can buy up to 2 pieces of art, now it could be 1, could be 2. I'm thinking in a tableau, generally you want to have like, oh, if I put it here, it does this cool thing. Or if I put it here, it does this. Or maybe there's different sections that like if you get both of them, they combine and do a thing. Um, so if we're thinking about note cards, let's just divide this up maybe into 8 to start. So let's go ahead. Ah, come on, Josh. You can do a straight line. Bop. Almost. Bop. There you go. It's still not straight. We have to deal with that. Um, and then we'll just divide this up. Bada bing, bada boom. You have 8 sections. Oh, this needs to be flipped. We'll just go ahead and rotate the guy. For those who haven't seen this, whoop, let's make the canvas bigger before it. GIMP is basically free Photoshop, or free, not Photoshop, the art one, Illustrator. Um, Highly recommended if you've never used it before. We're just going to make this bigger, and now we can go ahead and rotate our layer. We're going to be doing most of our art in here. There is other tools we could use to do art for sure. When you're drafting art, go with whatever you're comfortable with. I'm really comfortable with this. I've been using GIMP for a long time. It's very flexible. So for example, here I just have my layer. I don't want this stuff on the outside, and you can just crop to visible. You can crop to layers. So if I like right click on this, you can also say, hey, crop to something or other. Merge visible layers, etc. So we're gonna have these 8 cards, and each of these 8 cards is basically we can think of someone putting in their card here. Now these maybe could be connected in some way. So say like, I think right off the bat, you could say, hey, each of these have like a connection. So maybe like all of these connections between your pieces of art could be a thing. So if you had like two pieces of art here, then they're connected. Make it bigger. Move this down too. Zoom. Show. Yeah, spill right over into that. All right. Ooh, yeah, that's a good idea for sure. We want to remember. Jeff's the greatest. Everyone wants Jeff's stuff. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I bet there could be a cool thing. Oh, I love milestones and awards in games. Yeah, let's go back really quick before we forget. Um, so point salad. How do you get points? I don't know. We'll just put points here or something like this. Um, getting points. That's a classic section you see in game manuals. Um, so I want to say milestone or like awards. So you could say get the most of any one artist's art. So if you say like someone is always buying my art, what's funny, what if you knew there was an achievement to get any one artist's art and you purposely started drawing garbage so that person doesn't want your art anymore? You can sabotage people by having garbage art. Like, no, I'm not going to draw an action thing for you. Clearly, you want all my stuff. Um, so get the most of any one artist's art. Get the most of any one type of art. Maybe it's like action, uh, still, I don't know, impressionist. Clearly, people are going to be able to draw impressionist stuff. So yeah, I think awards is cool. Um, and then yeah, we need this, and then just say, make sure you sign your art after it's done. Cool. So let's go back here to our browser. No, GIMP. Bada bing. Scooby Doo. Okay, so over here. So these are going to be connected in some way. Um, so that if you get both, you get a thing. Right now, I'm just going to leave it at this, and we're going to come back to it. Um, so this is our beautiful, beautiful thing here. Once we get an idea of what the different sections are, here is a diagram of the tableau. Boom. It's huge. Uh, oh, look at that. So cool. Um, so I would say trigger each of the art pieces to generate stuff. Yeah, generate stuff. Generate stuff. You can generate stuff in any order. It don't matter. You can just like do it. Um, if you have art pieces. Oh, my bad. So cool. Uh, if you have art pieces, let's do this too. You silly Billy. Uh, that are connected. They gain the bonus of the connection. Refer to the red squares above. So each of these things will be a bonus. So say I had like one here and one here, I'd get that, etc. And yeah, so you generate the engine. Um, what does the engine stuff get you? I think that's what we're gonna have to define a little bit below. But right now we're just talking about the rounds. So the engine round, you get your stuff in your engine. Maybe you'll get stuff like more money. Maybe you'll get more attributes you can put on your art. Maybe you'll get like certain ways or abilities to claim people's art or something like that. Um, and of course, we're talking about points. There needs to be some way to get points. Points could just be money. Um, some games, uh, just like you only have one currency, and in the end, that's the only currency that matters. Other games have multiple currencies, and like points is just one of them. Um, so we'll figure that out. All right, so we drew stuff, we auctioned for stuff, we put it somewhere on our tableau, and then we generated the engine round. We got stuff. It could just be that. You could just draw again. Um, I think almost at this point we have to think about what are we getting to? Does the game end when any one person fills up all 8 spots, which then encourages you to get a whole bunch of pieces of art? Does the game end just after some set number of rounds? Um, I think that could be a thing. Um, Maybe there's a thing that if you fill up your whole tableau, um, then you get like some bonus, or maybe you can start selling stuff off of your tableau. I think the easiest way, especially if you're prototyping a game, is just to make the game end state really simple, straightforward. Um, so I'm just gonna say once your tableau is filled up, anybody's tableau is filled up, um, then the game ends. So we'll just say end of game here. The game ends when any one player's tableau is filled with art pieces. Easy. So then we're gonna do winner. Winner. Uh, the winner is the player who has the most points and or money. Uh, gold? No, gold. So, maybe there'll be other things too, like, we're gonna do stuff like, check to see who has won different, awards. Maybe there is a final voting, uh, round of who has the best art collection. Uh, Something like along those lines. Some sort of like end of game thing that could change what happened. Uh, give someone to hope for. Or if you're like that final piece of art did it, and I got everything. So some sort of end game thing. Getting points. Right now we have awards. So I think the next things for us to do are we need to decide, okay, you're getting art pieces. Right now it's just what are the attributes of an art piece? So this is an engine builder. It is going to be fun to just draw stuff, but part of it is we want that stuff that you're drawing to be meaningful. Not, it's going to be comedic inherently, what people are drawing. So what is the meaningful stuff? What is like the game stuff we can tie to pieces of art? So I think within that, let's think of what these actual parts of the tableau are going to be. So we have 8 different spots. So what we want to think of are attributes. What are attributes we can just draw on the card or say, hey, this is an action one, or ones that are maybe inherently within it because of the prompt. So we're gonna go down to not this kind of attribute. Who cares about this right now? Deleted. We'll just put it down here. Um, so we're just gonna say there are a whole bunch of attributes that can be added to pieces of art. Oh man, artists, artists are so artistic. Here is the list of attributes. Okay, so I think some of the attributes are just going to be elements of like I mentioned impressionist. Um, that is more of describing about the art. So if you think of artsy ones, it could be impressionist, realism, cartoon. I don't know, I'm just gonna say types of art. Anime. Let's think of classical pieces of art. It could be an action scene. It could be a still. It could be a what am I thinking of? A portrait. It could be abstract. It could be um, an animation. It could be like frames. So there's like different types of art that you could be drawing. That I think is like inherent to it. So these are inherent. Let's use this heading. We're going to say these are inherent attributes of the art. What makes them art? What makes them art? The type of art. The type of art. Um, and then we have the other attributes. And these are the attributes um, that you could maybe add to it. So then we have, these are like the game attributes. I'm just going to call them game attributes. So these are the things that we've already talked about money. So you could maybe just say this is an expensive piece of art. So maybe we want to say, well, and we have to think about the tableau. So if I put something in here, it has to give me something. What are the things that we can earn? So I think one, it's a little bit meta. Well, let's do the money first. We'll just say gold. Gold is just going to be our currency for right now. I think you could earn more attributes. So if attributes are, say, little tokens that you can just slap onto a piece of art, or just like use one, like you're spending an attribute in order to draw, or little icon of an attribute. I say attributes can be themselves, but that's not super helpful at this point. Maybe it could be tools. What are the amount of tools you could use in your art? So I could say tools. So maybe you have a marker, paint. Everyone has their watercolors. Paint, crayons, pencil, etc. I think there should be something along the lines of like reputation or fame, something that like says, "Wow, this is a Jeff. I can't believe I got another one of these." Can you just slap reputation on it? Um, so I call it reputation. Um, something along the lines of giving you maybe more time. Now, does time really matter in terms of the art? Maybe. Maybe there could be something like that. So if we are being strict about time, maybe we want to implement time as a mechanic. So we could say time. Uh, so like maybe you can give yourself more time to draw the art. Uh, in terms of the auction phase, you probably want something to give you more auction power without actually having to spend gold. So maybe we're going to say auction power. What's another word for that? Not power, influence. Power, I was going to say influence. Just played arcs last night, so the word influence is in my mind. Auction power, influence. Other things that art could do is it just could be like maybe beauty is some part of art, some sort of you're trying to acquire beauty, and we're just trying to think of different components of the game. So we say beauty, creativity. Um, what other things could you have that could be used as a component? Let's just roll with that for now. Let's take this. We'll see what we can mix and match. I think the ones that are the most this is the one I'm least confident about is time. Yeah, that doesn't seem. I'm just gonna go with that. So here we go. 7. 7's a pretty good amount. We do have a grid of 8. All right, let's think of an 8th one. Let's just try to do one for each side of the grid. Do, 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 do. We're gonna say, maybe there's. I was thinking, some art is like impressive because of its historical relevance or because of its how old it is. Um, I don't know. I'm kind of losing it. I'm gonna say I'm just gonna make up a thing. Um, I'm just gonna call one preference. Preference is a thing in art. How could you use that as a token, or not a token, as like a attribute of just personal preference? I have 5 personal preference. Um, so we talked about like one aspect of certain, maybe collecting certain people's art. I think maybe you could vote on kind of like what's in vogue. So like I would say like maybe that could be auction power, but that for me that's more of a influence. I want to say like what's vogue. So what is like in fashion? Like what is the cool hot thing that everyone wants? All right. So these are well the 8 things, and why don't we just now assign these things to these guys? So let's go back to our board. We're gonna copy this. I'm actually gonna use another tool that I have called Snagit. It's just a game capture or screen cap tool. All right, so I just captured this. You don't see it right now, but I'm going to copy this. We're going to go back to our GIMP and we'll paste as a new layer. So right click, layer, paste as, oh, never mind, edit, paste as new layer. Here are the game attributes that we have. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Um, and what we're going to do is each of these squares are going to be kind of like the different attributes that we want to fill in. So now we got to make some iconography here, which is fun. So the first one's gold. Um, I'm not going to think at all um, of how these are connected. Like, should gold be next to something else? Um, right now, we're just going to populate them all. And I'm going to draw directly on it. You could like create multiple layers for all these so we can mix and match. For the purposes of showing it, why don't we just do it really quick? So here, run this one. We're just calling it the black on layer. We're just going to call this the tableau. And then here, oh, you can't even see it over here. It's cut off. Let's make this bigger. Yum. Yum. All right, we'll go here. And we got to make gold. It's gold. Everyone likes gold bricks. This is our gold. Yeah, that's terrible. Let's at least try a little bit. That looks like gold. That's a gold brick. We'll go ahead and color it in. Yeah, gold. Next step. Boom. We can just do this. Attributes. This is a little bit meta, um, but I think it'll make sense. So we just need like a token symbol. I think let's do A. Let's make it simple. We'll have a little A for attributes. That's such a good A. Tools. So our tools. A tool is like a wrench or like a pencil or a pen. All right, we'll draw a pen or pencil. We'll draw a thing. We need this to be a little bit smaller, a little bit more precision. Oh yeah. Wait. Oh, 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 we're drawing a pencil. Totally. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's our pencil. And of course, pencils have to have a red eraser. That's pink. Good enough. Oh wait, this is it's not connected. That'll be problematic. No! We're fast. We're faster than speed. No one will want to play the game if it looks like a bad pencil. Yeah, what's the color of pencil? It's like orangish yellow. Good, good, good. It's beautiful. Uh, those are the tools. Reputation. What's a good symbol for reputation? Um, a heart? Like I love you. Don't we have a heart for something else? I think heart is going to be like what's in vogue. Vogue will be a heart. Like what are we liking right now? We're going to do a red heart to bottom right. What's in vogue? We got to make it a little bit less bright red, make it a little pink-ish, ish. And we'll draw our beautiful heart. Look at that. Oh yeah, that's a heart. Bam. I kind of like it when it's you got a slightly different shade inside. There you go. Okay, now we're going back. We got to draw a reputation. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. This is like sunglasses, right? You're like putting on your sunglasses. You're like, I'm so cool. I got this amazing. It's who's cool. So we're gonna draw a person with sunglasses. Clearly, that's not gonna be a good icon. I mean, you could have a little emoticon. That's not terrible. Uh, just a little. Yeah. He's got. He's cut. Those are so, no. Try again. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, look at him. He's so cool with his sunnies on. Yeah, look at that little guy. All right, that's reputation. Auction power. That's like a gavel. You know, you're the judge. You're the auctioneer. Brown, a little brown action, something like this. Maybe a little lighter brown. A gavel. It goes like this, and it's got the end on it like that, and then there's the handle. Bam. Now that let's make it a little bit more pretty. Pull. Hold down Shift, make straight line-ish, and then we're gonna get a little darker to fill it in. Bum bum. Up. Nope. Zoop. Zunk. And this needs to have some motion lines behind it, like it's coming down. Uh, Smash. All right, that looks bad. Just kidding. We'll just keep a gavel. Good enough. Moving on. Beauty. A symbol for beauty. Anybody got any suggestions for that? What about light? Um, Something shining, something brilliant. Um, we're just gonna go for something shining, like yellow. Do we have a yellow yet? Gold. Ah, it's so beautiful. Right here, we're just gonna do a beautiful sun. It's bright. People are gonna think, oh, this just means it's bright. I'm like, no, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful sunny day. It's so great. Just a little bit lighter. Can't even tell. Oh, that looks terrible. Brighter, I said, brighter. Haha. Look at that. That's beauty. And then their final one is creativity. We're using our brain right now. use the I'll use the Twitch icon for that. No, we're gonna create a brain, and immediately I think Pinky and the brain. All right, so little red outline ish, a little darker. How quickly can I draw a brain? It's like this. It's got like the thing, and then it's got wrinkles, right? It's like it's got like that ish. Does that look like a brain? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. That that's my brain. That's creativity. Uh, we need naturally it's blue, purple, purple. Yeah. All brains are purple. A lovely lavender. Ooh, no. So bad. I vetoed that immediately. I can't draw a brain. That looks so terrible. No. We're gonna do a light bulb like you had an idea. And it's totally different than the sun. The sun is brilliant. The light bulb is a light bulb. You can't do a brain. That looks so bad. All right. Do the light bulb. Do a little one of these. Zoop, zoop, zoop. And then does it one of those. Zoop. Okay, that's better. Much better. Whoa. No, no, Smokey Joe. Okay. So now we have our 8 attributes on our wonderful thing here. I'm going to recopy out this thing. Go back to our game doc. Totally didn't spend too much time on that. Super important. Bop. Yeah, that's great. Look at that. I'm gonna make it that big. Okay, so these are the different attributes that you can get in the game. These are inherent attributes of the art. Um, and now we're almost done, really. We have enough of the game to market it tomorrow. Uh, so we might just call it. Um, but I think this is the point where you can essentially decide, all right, how much more do I need to define here? So I think we have a little bit more time. I'm going to take a brief break here. When I come back, um, we'll go ahead, finish up. We're going to define some of what these attributes do, like what do they give you, um, and then we'll be done. So this is just going to be running. Oh well, too bad. Boom, I'm back. Bada bing, bada boom, bada boom. All right. So what we got left today is essentially we have most of the game here. And excuse me, what we're gonna do is we have to define what these attributes are. This is the major component of the game. You get the cards, people draw amazing art, you're slapping them in here, And each of these attributes is going to be giving you something that you're going to be earning during the engine round. Um, whether it be all of these different attributes, gold, more attributes themselves, tools, reputation, etc. And you're going to be combining them all, and then you'll get stuff. right now, right now we don't have anything about points. I didn't really think about that. Um, but maybe all of these things can like get you points in some way. This is supposed to also be like a point salad game, which basically means anything that you're doing is getting you points in some way, and some maybe like some things are better depending on like the awards. Um, so each of these game attributes are probably going to be a component, um, but let's go ahead and define what these actually do for us. So I'll go and zoom in. Um, and each of these things too, we can do, I'm just going to quickly copy and paste. Um, copy and paste the images over. So we have gold. Here's our gold. So zoom, copy that over here. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is gold. Gold. Um, so gold is what you currency to bid on auctions. Now you might see auction power influence. I think that is going to be something like in addition to gold that you can bid on stuff. So currency to bid on auctions. And maybe gold is also something you can use in order to boost or get other attributes. I guess that's attributes. I don't know. We'll just do one thing for each. We'll make it really simple. Attributes. These let you unlock other attributes, or we'll just give it an or, a little bit or can get you, maybe it's like a wild, or this is like a wild card, like a wild where it could replace or be used for other attributes. Tools. Um, this was literally just like what you're using for art. So let's use more different types of tools. Reputation. This is how much reputation a given artist player has. This could change how much their pieces of art are worth or worth getting. We have auction power, can be used to break tiebreakers. During an auction. Or I guess we'll just say or that maybe they could be used to start a duel. Beauty. How pretty it is. How creative a piece of art is. How trending, popular type of art is. Okay. And then we have all these different ones we could copy over these right now, but it's not super important. They're all right up here. So some of these are going to be functional. So like gold is a functional thing that lets you do a thing. Some of them are you're simply accumulating statistics. You're accumulating uh, beauty points. You're accumulating creativity points. Um, and in a way, these sorts of things might just be different types of points that you're accumulating. Um, let's see what else we got here. Let's think a little bit more of how these connect to each other. So in any Tableau builder, you're going to have pieces that connect with each other. Um, Sometimes the Tableau is going to dictate, oh, if you unlock this piece, you get a new thing. So you're taking things off of a Tableau. Here, we're simply going to be putting stuff onto a Tableau. Uh, so that's what we're going to be doing here. Is when you get a piece of art, you're going to choose where it goes. And depending on where it goes, will determine what you're unlocking in your Tableau. And maybe that also you're saying this art to you is beautiful. You're saying that this art to you is in vogue. So let's just define what happens when you put something on your Tableau, which I think is, oh, assign pieces to your Tableau. That should be its own thing. Okay. So let's do this. This is going to be the placement round. Assign their art pieces to their Tableau one at a time. At a time in turn order. Placement bonuses are noted on the Tableau. Cool. Neat. Neat. Uh, any bonuses that an art piece gets by placing it stay on the art piece itself. So, for example, if you placed a piece of art on Vogue, the Vogue attributes, or the Vogue tokens, we'll just call them tokens, I don't know, stay on that piece of art to tell players that that art and that artist have Vogue stuff, have those attributes. Okay. Um, and then I want to say what are connectors? So links, what are we calling these things? Oh, the bonus of the connection. We could say there are also placement bonuses for connections. You only get these bonuses when you first connect two pieces of art together. Awesome. Cool. So you place down your stuff, you get bonuses, and we're gonna have to on Wednesday when we're fleshing out the rules and creating more icons and stuff. We're gonna have to define. Oh, excuse me. What those are. So there's placement round, then you got the engine round. You're getting a whole bunch of stuff. You're placing down. We have all our attributes of stuff. We have our game attributes. Uh, Points. Maybe everything is worth points. So maybe like points are a combination of all of the different types of attributes. Points are a combination of all the different types of attributes. Clearly. Cool. Yeah. But yeah. Very cool. It doesn't like of all of. That's too bad. Awards. Um, I guess this isn't setup. We can now think about setup a little bit. So we can define more awards. I like the idea of trying to get the most of anyone type's art. Get the most of any one type of attribute. Gold, beauty. Get the most of any one type of inherent attribute. Game attribute. Of inherent attribute attributes. Get the most of any one type of inherent attribute. Uh, Actions still. Oh wait, what are the ones I had above here? Cartoon, realism, portrait. Because of course people are gonna be able to do a cartoon rendition. Um, Maybe something about like win the most, like win 3 auctions in a row or something like that. I guess this is the end of game awards. Awards is end of game. And then maybe there's like things that you can achieve. Uh, Oop. These are awards during the game. During the game. It's like if you just like do a thing during the game, you get the thing. So winning 3 auctions in a row. Getting, I don't know, X number of gold for 1 piece of art. What about buying a piece of art for free? What other awards could you get with these simple mechanics? Can you replace in a piece of art? So that's a good idea. Good question. Is say I put something on the gold slot. I know you want to fill up all your slots. Am I allowed to replace it with something else? Like, is that even beneficial? Hmm. Hmm. I actually don't know. Uh, I don't know. Those are some more. We'll think of more. But like, there's awards during and at the end of the game. Maybe these are drawn randomly. Um, Winner has the most points. which is a combination of all of the awards, or all the attributes they've gained. Cool. I think that's basically it, ish. I mean, we could say more setup stuff like do that, everyone chooses one tool to start. You can get access to more tools with the tools attribute. Shuffle the prompts deck. Everyone gets Tableau. Tableau. Coup. And then the person who gets the first player token, first piece of art that will go up for bid, is the last person who drew something. Of course. All right. We ought to save this. I don't think I saved this at all. I'm going to save this somewhere. Yeah. What's our game title called, chat? Oh, this is a big deal. Okay. Ideas for titles for the game. We're buying art. It's all Western themes, naturally. Da 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 da. Great Western Trail. The Western. We're competing artists, but we're also like buying them. Are these museums? Are we buying? Where are we putting these things? Are we taking it and putting it in our museums? Are we competing museum owners? Uh, maybe. What is a cool terminology of the West? Of of purchasing amazing pieces of artifacts that other peoples have drawn. Let's go ahead and update this, by the way. How about... We're gonna have to finalize it tomorrow before we start marketing it everywhere. I think you could say drawing, creating, masterpiece. It's your masterpiece. Masterpiece Museum. Where you're collecting everyone's. Why is it Western themed then? What's an old Western word for having a masterpiece? Uh, I think it was gold. Something about constructs making cool stuff. Making cool stuff. All right, for now we're gonna call it Masterpiece Museum because that sounds cool. But it doesn't have the Western feel. We're gonna have to really, really get that in there. All right, let me go ahead and save this. Boop. We're gonna call it Masterpiece Museum. What's today? August 4th through 8. Cool. That's it. That's a 7 that I was writing. Okay, you can see it. All right, here we go. Now we need, so tomorrow, we can make this tomorrow, but we need the logo of the game. We need some way to represent the game in terms of like box art that we can slap together in portrait view and in landscape view. Because like on Kickstarter, you need like a landscape one. And then, if we're doing it on any other space, some of them are better for portrait. So we need two different logos for the game of Masterpiece Museum. So what is the art we have this far? We have this. This is our beautiful tableau. And we have my picture of a cowboy riding into the sunset. So of course it's a horse. A horse is a horse, of course, of course. We're gonna take this guy. We're gonna create our logo of our game. And copy that. It's currently not visible. Oh, he's up here. Zoop. Oh, I'm not even showing GIMP. Yeah, I'm such a great streamer. All right, here we go. Uh, let's place this. Ah, over here. Control Z over here. We want to paste as a new layer. Here we go. There we go. There's our cowboy. Pumpkin cowboy. All right, so we're now creating our beautiful game box logo called Masterpiece Museum, where everyone's art pieces are valued. We have one piece of art and we have our tableau we made, so we're going to combine these two, and it's going to be great. We just need to make this guy smaller. So we'll do a layer, we'll scale this guy. Arbitrary rotation? No. Scale layer. There it is. We need to make him smaller. Sure. What looks the most, does this look like a museum to you? What about this? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right there. Right in the middle. Beautiful. And then of course we need the words Masterpiece Museum. Uh, it's hard to do rounded text in GIMP. So we're gonna try anyway. So we're gonna take what font? What's our font of our game? This is way too small. I need to zoom in. Over here we can look at our fonts. I think the Old West. What's a Western font? Something that reminds me of the West. Yes. Rockwell. Ah, yes, this reminds me of the West. What's a color that will shine out here? Bright blue? Cyan? Big fan of cyan. We need this to be huge. I think it is huge, actually. We are here. Let's just start typing. Matt. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. We need it to be bigger, though. Ba-ba-ba. Make it bigger. Too big. Smaller. Yeah, 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 yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Nope, that's the wrong one. Nope, that's the wrong. How do I grab the text? There it is. Oh yeah, people love that. There you go. Masterpiece. Oh, it's a masterpiece. And then down here we're gonna put museum. 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 Yep. Clearly the best I've ever done. Doobadoo. Lean in, just lean in. You can really see the blue when it's right against the red. Masterpiece Museum. I think we need to take this just a little bit. Is this the one? And we're gonna need to modify this just so we can see this a little bit better. This will be gray. We'll just make it like a gray red here. No? No? What? Really? Nani? Oh. Zoop. There it is. There we go. Just so we can see it a little bit better. Yeah. Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Yep. That's our beautiful. Yep. Mm-hmm. That is it. That is what we want to be our logo. Uh-huh. And then, when you do the horizontal one, it can just be horizontal. Let's go ahead and export this thing. Oh, we can save it. Uh, I guess you can't see the save prompt. Um, oh well. Just gonna put it right here. This is our masterpiece museum uh, logo. And we'll do a little export there too. Okay. All right, we have our vertical one. I don't know. We'll probably use the same thing for the horizontal one, to be honest. That's basically it for today. We created the whole. Oh, well, of course. We have to do our game title. Masterpiece Museum by. Uh, by? Created by? Wazoo Games. And then chat sorta helped. Chat sorta helped too, but this was the first stream, so it was just a couple people with some ideas at the beginning, but they were great, so it was all good. Awesome. Cool. I think we can stop the clock. Bada bing, bada boom. 150. Not bad. Um, Tomorrow, we're going to do day 2. We're going to do marketing Kickstarter. Learn how to put together a Kickstarter. We're going to market this thing in every single outlet. Twitter/X, Instagram, Reddit, everywhere. Um, and it's not going to look good and it doesn't need to look good. We're just going to show the whole process, have fun with it. But thanks for everyone who joined today. I will see you tomorrow. Love you. Jesus loves you.